Okay, how's that? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from the deep darkness of the high part of Pechanga Arena. I am Chris Davis. If you can see me over here in the dark, that is Callan McClurg. Ooh, and we have flames down on the field. Greetings. Oh, hey, there we go.
Turn on your cell phone lights.
There you go. I shall. All right, here we go.
Who's
there we go.
carrying the broadcast? We don't know.
No idea.
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
There we go. Now we have
Somewhat.
Make Do Light.
It's better than nothing.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am Chris Davis. He is Callan McClurg, and we are live here. This is why this is a tape and a practice, because it keeps popping up new things. I don't get it. First time doing a Facebook Live in about 3 years.
It's been so long. Unbelievable.
All right, so we are here. We are having some fun, and we are hearing the Jimi Hendrix version of the national anthem. Sounds like we're back with the LA Kiss again.
Those good old days, I tell you.
All righty. So normally, you know me, I stand up, put my hand over the heart, but I'm trying to do a show here, people. Anyways, greetings, sir. Welcome back.
It's been so long, man. It's great to see you again,
Goodness
finally.
gracious. You're talking about seeing me again. We just did a basketball game over at
I'm
UFC.
talking about for NLL action.
Here. Oh,
I'm talking about here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah,
Long time coming.
It's been a while. I mean, since like February of 2020.
Yeah, I think March 7th was the last game we had
March
here.
7th of 2020. Somebody do the math. I don't want to do it.
At least 500 days.
Gee, goodness gracious. It's been a long time. Anyways, so we come back, and it's a brand new team that we get to talk about.
And a very, I'd say, intriguing team as well, with the season last year obviously wiped off the board due to COVID. But then, though, Chris, you see all the moves made over the offseason, but if there's anything,
the most important
but
one
there's
we're gonna
one
talk about.
important move that stands out, I think, in everybody's mind. And I think if you are a diehard or casual viewer of this league and you see the name of Dane Doby,
Yes.
Basically one of the greatest players probably in recent league history, longtime member of the Calgary Roughnecks, leaving the team to come to San Diego.
Well, think about it. Would you rather spend your winters in Calgary or San Diego?
I'm taking my hometown every day of the week. But just the fact of seeing that happen for such a young franchise, this officially begins year 2, full all the way through.
Yeah, I'll give you
full, actual second full year, minus of course the COVID year of 2020. And you make that kind of splash, and I think that you, me, David Frecker, we talked about this. Now there's championship aspirations on this club. And I know we had talked about this a little bit, though, during early January and December of the last full season we had of when the team wasn't playing well and Austin Stotts wasn't in the lineup, and we had heard from all the guys.
Damn good reason why he was in the lineup, too.
Because of his ripped ACL and stuff like that. And that, a lot of the players even said, we still believe that this is a championship club. Well, now you add Dane Doby to this mix.
However, for those longtime Seals fans, you do have the subtraction of Dangerous Dan.
And Dangerous Dan now being back in Toronto definitely hurts on offense, but still, though, Doby, you also have Stotts back in the lineup.
Yes.
Zach Greer is off the inactive list today.
Yes.
So, I don't know, but this team, after that first stumble at home, 2 games, 1 on the road, and a bit of some downtime because of the holiday. And, of course, you know about COVID right now as well in the league. But certainly, though, should be very interesting to see how this team plays the remainder of this year.
On a side note, one very interesting note I love about the Western Conference in this league. You got 3 teams that are 2-1. None of them have a winning record at home.
It's crazy. I mean, you've seen Colorado win on the road. You've seen Saskatchewan. They're down right now in San Diego. Their only home game. They end up losing, in a nail-biter 8-7 to Vancouver. even Vancouver, so it's,
We'll get to that game.
I
from
dubbed
last
it.
night.
I dubbed it the Wild West because you have
Quite literally.
3 teams though are tied for first place. So certainly something's got to give eventually, but it is early, and especially though. And I talked about this actually at a different game that we were at today about how much will the word rust really be for both these teams because of the holiday break, because of the influx of COVID-related postponements. How much will rust be a factor for both PC and San Diego today?
It's a very good question. As far as San Diego, I think it's going to be a little less, mainly because they just had such a good feeling coming off of that Colorado victory. But for Panther City, I don't know where their minds are right now.
I don't know, and and I wrote this though is don't let Panther City's record fool you. 2 of their 3 losses by 1 goal. So they've been in games. It's a matter though of this expansion side figuring out kind of on the fly about how to win games and how to shut down opponents when the going gets somewhat difficult as that close game goes on into crunch time.
Don't take notes from Vancouver last night on how to shut down somebody.
I still can't wrap my head around that game.
For those of you who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, Colorado played Vancouver last night. At the end of 1 quarter of play, Vancouver was up 9-2. Colorado ended up winning by 5. It's like...
In a way, it almost reminded me a small bit of the last Seals game in Calgary. They jumped up, I think, 10-2 at halftime and let Calgary kind of come back into the game, but they closed it out, though.
Yeah.
But that game last night may have been the most head-scratching game I've seen in recent memory.
It was not pretty. I watched the whole game. It was not pretty. So, turning our attention to Panther City right now. Expansion team. The expansion teams do interesting things.
They do.
Some of them don't make any sense. Take, for example, Panther City. Just 5 days ago, they traded their leading point guard to Albany for a guy that was on the holdout list. Can somebody explain this one to me, please?
The best way I could probably remember, and we talked about this on one of the last pods we did, or at least during the inaugural year when the Wings dealt Chris Cloutier, who was their 2nd overall pick, the guy behind Austin Stotts. And he got traded away for, I think, like a draft pick or 2 draft picks. So certainly we've seen those types of maybe like showing your true expansion team form of making a trade like that with Philly and now even here with Panther City.
So they traded Ryan Benish to Albany. At the time, he was leading Panther City, not just in points, but in assists as well. And they traded him for, see if you recognize this name, Johnny Pearson.
Yes.
Former
San Diego Seal.
A 1st round in the 22 draft and a 4th rounder in next year's draft. Huh?
Yeah, you certainly wonder sometimes about what's going through front offices. And I think a little bit, I don't want to put all the eggs in the basket, but certainly I think that the record sometimes can dictate that. We talked about this with Philadelphia. They were 0-6, 0-8 beginning their inaugural campaign. They started making maybe some controversial, maybe some moves like that maybe...
Certainly some...
certainly head-scratching moves, though. And, 0-3 to start the season, a little bit early, I think, to kind of be waving the white flag.
I was just about ready to say, it's way too early in this league to be throwing up, hey, we're done for this year. I'm not saying that that's what they're saying.
No, same here.
But at the same time, that's a little early.
I think,
especially with all the COVID stuff going on.
It certainly is, I think, way too early and there's plenty of time, obviously, plenty of time to get back into the things. So, yeah, the West is very good, though. Colorado playing great. San Diego coming off of a bit of a holding pattern. Their game in Saskatchewan was postponed due to
everyone's favorite.
Then again, the whole week, that whole week was wiped off the board by the league. And, again, but more so for me, though, is I just think about rust being a very big factor tonight. And for everyone any team coming off of this extended break.
I'm not laughing at you. I just happened to be looking down the field and just saw an absolutely sick pass behind the back, one touch into the goal during practice. I know, but still.
Do we spoil it or do we wait?
Go for it.
If we talked about this on our last post-game show before the shutdown, back in March of 2020, Chris has brought his GoPro. We're going to be
on right now.
We are going to be recording our reaction, not live, but our reactions throughout the course of the first half of the game tonight. So you're in for a good surprise.
And we're going to put that up on San Diego Sports Domination probably Tuesday or Wednesday of this coming week. But that should be fun. That's all I'm saying.
It's going to be fun.
All right, switching over to the pink and black, or purple and black. Pink and black. Purple and black. And throwing some yellow in there, too.
Yeah.
Talking about the Seals. They resurfaced in a big way.
Big way after the tough opening night loss. Kind of held at bay by Alex Bouquet, who I think turned in a phenomenal game in net that night. But, you go on the road, and, usually we kind of, in a way, had thought that the road was like their Achilles heel in the inaugural year and even in the part of the 1920 campaign. But, you go to Colorado and wipe the floor clean with the Mammoth, who you've only lost to once in franchise history.
Yeah.
And then you go to Calgary and Dane Dobie, and that there was extra motivation for Dane just to go back to that building and go to the Saddle Dome up there and drop 9 points on his old club, and they win resoundingly. And again, the holding pattern because of COVID, the holidays. But certainly after that first home game, this is a brand new team. And also I even mentioned, too, in the MI6 game preview, 2 players are on top of the leaderboard right now in goals and in goals against average.
Yes, that would be Dane, the previously you mentioned Mr. Dobie, with goals. And, of course, the Tank in goal, leading the entire league with an 8 goals against.
And certainly, I think for Frank, minus the opening night loss, 2 great games he's played on the road. And maybe in a way he's gone back to the Chiliano we saw the inaugural year, where he's got some confidence, a little swag in his game back finally.
Yeah.
And turning in he's turning 2 great games. Hopefully that momentum can carry into tonight. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see how Panther City attacks San Diego tonight on offense.
Let's just hope that he doesn't flash back to the 1920 Chiliano.
Yeah, that certainly was rough to see Frank going through and at the early stage doing it. And there was other issues, not just Frank. Defensive lapses, not a lot of offensive firepower with Stotts being out and Dawson being away, back in Toronto. But, now you basically have relocked and reloaded.
Yeah.
And now it's a matter of just going out there and getting the job done.
True. All right, so we're going to wrap it up to do a quick one right here, and then we'll do a post-game, probably our favorite post-game hangout. The matchup you're looking forward to tonight?
The matchup I'm looking forward to seeing how does Panther City defend San Diego's offense? Because that you have Stotts, then you have Dobie. That becomes a 2-headed monster. Now, the thing, though, is will Coach Pat Merrill put them both on the field at the same time, or are they going to mix and match lines as the game goes on? So I want to see, though, how this Panther City side defends against the San Diego offense, who has scored 30 goals in their past 2 games.
So the matchup I'm looking for, it's not a head-to-head matchup. I'm looking to see if Randy and Austin are both on the active roster tonight. We don't know yet. Randy Stotts, Austin's brother, big brother at that, is on Panther City's roster. Hopefully he's on the active roster tonight. He has yet to play a game for Panther City this year. So that's the matchup I'm looking forward to tonight.
Certainly, and we also talked about this back in March of the inaugural year, and we had talked about when San Diego had gotten Paul Dawson. And you have to wonder about, not just like when they play with each other, but then you also have to think about, though, that's going to make for some very interesting holiday get-together, dinner table discussions.
Thank goodness that we just got done with the holiday, so they're going to have some time to scheme on this one if it turns out that.
But certainly, that will be a good one to see if they match up, and if they're on the floor on the same time, that'd be very intriguing to see.
They're both forwards, so they're not going to
how they're going to lock things down. And but I definitely want to see, though, how Panther City defends against the San Diego offense, especially if Merrill rolls the dice and puts Augie and puts Dobie on the same line, or if they mix and match or whatnot going forward.
All I'm saying is if Stotts and Dobie are on the floor at the same time, good luck.
Yeah, especially with how San Diego's offense has been really, again, they scored 30 combined goals in their last 2 games, in Colorado and in Calgary. So I'm more so intrigued by how will PC really clamp down on defense on this San Diego offense tonight.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Prediction.
I'll go San Diego 17-7.
Wow. Okay. I am also going with the Seals. I'm going with a little bit of a closer game. I'm going 18-13.
Not bad.
Five goal win. All right. For Callan McClurg, I'm Chris Davis. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you later.